Where are you from?
I'm from Greensburg, Indiana, which is about 2.5 hours from here. It's southeastern Indiana. I came to St. Margaret Mary July the 1st, 1998.
Pastor what?
Father Ron Ashmore. Father Dede had pretty much phased out. Father Ron was here, the pastor, for 1 year when I came here. And I've known Father Ron since 1979, when he was the pastor of our little our weekend sacramental minister in our little rural parish where I grew up in Decatur County. He was teaching at the time at Cecina High School, where I did my student teaching. And that's how I met when they needed the department chairman of the religious studies at Cecina High School, and I had a college degree. He asked me whether I wanted to come back to Cecina to teach. And that's how we met. We worked together after that. Then I went with him to Bloomington and became the pastoral associate at St. Charles Borromeo. I was there for 9 years.
And then when he moved here?
He was transferred out of Bloomington, and he took a sabbatical and studied in the Holy Land in Egypt. And I went to do 4 years mission work on the Navajo reservation in Arizona. And then I came here.
Where was the church at? I don't know, 1998.
In 1998, it was in this building. That was built in 1957. The orientation of this church.
When you came?
Yes, and it was changed over from the more traditional way to its current status because of the reforms of the Church in Vatican Council II. And with that, Father John Dede, the pastor at the time, was a good friend of a church architect in St. Louis called Ron Bush. And Ron Bush, he asked them to come and remodel this church to follow the norms of Vatican Council II. And so that is the reason why this church was flipped around and put on its present axis. It's the only church in Terre Haute out of all the Catholic churches that has this particular arrangement. And it was done so that everyone could feel more participatory and to gather around the altar and share in the sacrifice of the Mass. Sister Mary Beth Klingel was the pastoral associate, and she was the pastoral associate for many years under Father John Dede. My role, I was hired in under Father Ron to become the youth minister of this parish. It had been joined with St. Joseph's, but the decision was made to split off on our own and create our own youth ministry. And so that is what I was hired to do, but I was also then hired in with the understanding that I would assist Sister Mary Beth in like visiting the shut-ins, helping with liturgy, etc. And as Mary Beth then retired, then I took over as the pastoral associate, and then I gave up the youth ministry.
What was your most memorable experience, moment, working in the parish?
I would say the most memorable experience was my first day here when I came in, because I had been out on doing mission work on the Navajo reservation in the Southwest, and it's good. I didn't know what I was going to get into. So I came back to Indiana and came to St. Margaret Mary. So I'll always remember that.
What were the struggles of the church that you remember?
I would say that the struggles of this parish was the struggle that every parish is had undergone and is still undergoing. And that is keeping the young people active in the church. Because we are... society has changed so much from when I was a child and growing up, where church was a real priority. Now, our young people are being pulled away in many different directions with extracurricular activities in the schools, and I would say keep the young people involved as the future of our parish is our biggest challenge.
What are the traditions that you can remember from back then that were uniquely St. Margaret's?
Well, I would say the things that I remember is very unique of this parish is its diversity and its friendliness. And I was told that when I came, you will find that the parish is very friendly and welcoming. And that has always been a hallmark of this parish. And I hope that it continues.
What are the changes in the parish that you've noted over the years?
Parish, it changes every time there's a change in the pastors. But each pastor brings their own gift to the parish. One of the biggest change is the influence of the Hispanics that have come to our community. And I would say that beginning a Hispanic ministry now, St. Margaret Mary has become the center of the Hispanic Catholic community in Terre Haute.
What do you love most about your job?
Every day is different. Every day brings on new challenges, and I've learned a lot from all the people that I've met over the years, and having been here 21 years, I've seen a lot of people come and go.
What are your hopes for the future of St. Margaret?
That it will continue to be a beacon of spreading Christ's message to the south side of Terre Haute, and that as we look towards our next 100 years, I hope that our descendants will carry that on.
What advice can you give to those that are working in ECE and to those that are working in this parish?
Keep a prayerful life. Let the Holy Spirit be your guide. And always remember that you never know what's going to come your way, and be prepared to meet people in all walks of life in their struggles and be there for them. When I came here, there was no senior citizens group. And when I was in Bloomington for 9 years, we had a senior citizens group. So as part of the goals was to provide some activities for our retired people. And so once a month, we gather for Mass, and then we try to do something different. However, in 21 years here doing it with senior citizens, I've about run out of activities for them to do, so we're starting to repeat again. But we've done trips to St. Louis for retreats, St. Meinrad. We've gone to Indianapolis to different places of interest there. I try to do something that's a little bit educational also. Like we went to Springfield, Illinois, and visited the Lincoln Library and things like that. Went to ball games. Or we just go around here to a local restaurant and eat. Bonding is right. But of the last 21 years, a lot of my senior citizens, the numbers have diminished because they've gone home.
How about the reverse raffle? You're pretty active with that as well.
Yes, that was another thing that I got involved with when I came here.
Was it already in place then?
Yes,
okay.
yes. They've been doing it for 31. This could be our 32nd year in April. David Cash and Father John Deedy started that 31 years ago. So it had been going on for 10 years when I got here. David knew someone in another parish that their parish had done this, where they sold 300 tickets at $100 a pop, and they gave away $10,000. And it was very easy to do. And so they were looking at ways to make money for the parish here, because it was struggling financially, I guess. And so Dave brought the idea to Father John Deedy, and Father John Deedy was very supportive of it and said, sure, go for it. And it has been. It's been very, very good. It's the oldest raffle in the city, and it's got a very strong tradition, and it's been very successful.
how about the parish picnic? Because when did it start?
The parish
Start
picnic,
yeah,
I think they had that even before I came.
And it has evolved to like.
On the Feast of St. Margaret Mary, or nearby, near the Feast of St. Margaret Mary. So we just gather as a parish community.
And how about the garage sale?
The garage sale was started by the Altar Society, which is now defunct because of lack of members. They disbanded, but they started that as a fundraiser for the Altar Society group themselves, and then they would buy things that the parish would need in case of emergency, and that's how the garage sale got started, as well as the craft fair in November. That was also those two fundraisers was under the umbrella of the Altar Society.
When did it start? Like you guys go to like nursing homes?
Well, Mary Beth had a very strong ministry with that before I came. She was doing it by herself, and it was just too much for her, so we divided that up.
Okay.
And before it was just Mary Beth that did all of it. But now I have some lay people that also help with it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's word about you retiring. Okay, and I think your followers are in a panic. What to do?
Okay.
If ever you retire, what advice can you give your replacement?
Just be open to the pastor and his mentality. Now, Father Dan and I get along. I was going to retire when Father Rick left. And Father Rick pulled me in the office and he said, I'm being transferred. I said, I got that drift. I kind of had that feeling that you were going to retire. And he said, are you serious about retiring? If you are, then I need to hire someone. And he said, let me tell you who's coming, and then tell me whether you're open to staying. When he mentioned the pastor, Father Dan Badel, I rolled my eyes and said, yes, I will stay because I know his family. I knew his mother when he was a little girl, and I said, I will help the young man out. He's young enough to be my grandson, and I will help him out. So, and we work well together. So anyway, we'll see.
Yeah.
But I told him, I said, I'm going to be 71 in November. I said, I'm not going to be around forever, you know that? But as long as I feel like I do now, you know, I have no problem. But I do need to start training people to take over because you never know.
What can you tell us about our youth? Any advice, ideas on how to go about approaching our youth?
To be very honest, I have lost contact with a lot of the young people because my role as youth minister had changed. So I become more in contact with the parents, and I try to tell the parents, you know, that you've got to make priorities. How important is your faith? And if you want your children to be good practicing Catholics, then you need to practice also.
They have to see it.
They need to see it, and if the kids say, oh, I don't want to go to church, you know, you got to impress upon them how important it is to you, and they learn from your example. If it's not that important to get up on Sunday to go to Mass, you know, they're going to use that as an excuse, and then pretty soon the next generation will pass it on down. That's the way I feel about it. I had no choice in the matter when I was growing up. I lived 200 feet from the front door of the church, and I was told, you're going to go to church on Sunday.
Tell us more about the international trips.
As long as I've been in ministry, we started doing pilgrimages, international pilgrimages, back in the mid-1980s. And Father Ron and I were one of the very first team to do pilgrimages in the Archdiocese. And we started out by going to Yugoslavia. At that time there was some purported apparitions of the Virgin Mary going on in Medjugorje, which is now in Bosnia. And so we had a charismatic group there, and they were very interested in going. And so we went to Medjugorje twice, and from there we went to the Holy Land, to Rome, Fatima, Lourdes, Our Lady of Guadalupe. So we traveled a lot. And then when I came here to be with Father Rodna, he got a pilgrimage up to the Holy Land and to Egypt. However, because of turmoil in Israel at the time, we could not visit the holy places, the Christian holy places. So we had to travel just through Egypt, Sinai, Jordan, which is very interesting, because there's a cradle of monasticism is there in Egypt. And so we got to see a lot of the very early monasteries in Egypt. So it was very interesting. And we've been to Ireland, and hopefully we'll be going to France for our 100th anniversary. Well, what can I say to the parishioners? I would say keep that attitude of being welcoming to people of all ethnic groups. Support your pastor, and always keep Christ in your life, at home, in church, and in the workplace.
Thank you.
You're welcome.